Hello everyone, this is just a quick video, basically, and it's going to be a quick video because I've got the most unholy cold assaulting my immune system right now, and I really don't feel like talking too long. But this is just going to be a quick video to explain something. Now, people have been giving me a lot of jip about this, basically, and I feel like I possibly, therefore, did not explain myself clearly enough when I was doing the last video and trying to explain what was going on here. Basically, the problem is people have been having a go at me about the times where Claudius has been attacking and killing Riften guards that have tried to arrest him. People have been saying Claudius is a psychopathic murderer and other assorted nonsense. Now, if you think what Claudius was doing was bad, then that's fine. You're entirely entitled to your own opinion. But when you start questioning the reasoning I'm giving behind why Claudius is doing what he's doing, that's when we have a problem. So, I'm going to, in this little video, try and explain to you exactly, because for those of you who apparently have a bit of a short memory, quite honestly, because it seems like you don't quite remember this entire encounter correctly. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys what exactly happened, explain my reasoning, and then hopefully you can see what exactly is I'm trying to explain here. So this is back in episode 2, I think, of of chapter 3 of the Let's Play. Claudius has finally managed to make it to Riften. He's tired from the journey. He gets to the rear gate of Riften and is promptly told to bugger off and threatened with execution if he doesn't leave by the Riften guards. So he agrees because he has no choice. He rides around the other side of Riften and he then meets up with a small patrol of Imperial legionaries who are escorting a prisoner, and they've even got their little war dog along with them as well. And Claudius decides that he's going to basically just tag along with them, along with the patrol. On his way to Riften, because they seem to be headed the same way. So he does that. He carries on walking with them, and suddenly they are under attack. And I, as a player at this point, actually thought I was under attack as well. Hence, I got my mace out. And the Riften guards at the gate have immediately set upon the legionaries and are attacking them. Now, Claudius here is, for whatever reason, the guards don't seem interested in him. They apparently don't recognize him as being a legionary, and so he desperately tries to remain neutral so that he can actually go into the city and stuff like that and not cause any trouble. However, in trying to remain neutral, he ends up dooming his comrades, because they're all very quickly murdered and brutally killed, basically, by the Rift guards. As a result of Claudius choosing not to intervene. So he effectively, as far as he's concerned, he feels he's got the blood of these 3 legionaries on his hands, and a Stormcloak prisoner as a result of this has escaped in addition to that. Then obviously Claudius examines his map, realizes he doesn't even need to be in Riften, heads to leave. As he does so, stops, looks at the bodies of his fellow comrades lying on the ground, and decides that he's had enough. He loses his temper, he turns around, and he decides to attack the Rift Guards and basically avenge the deaths of his friends. Well, not his friends, but his colleagues, his comrades in arms. And he does so. He kills both the Rift Guards and gets vengeance, basically. He avenges their deaths and then proceeds to ride off towards the fort. Now, people seem to have an issue with this. They say, oh, he's being a psychopathic murderer, attacking them. I don't think he is, at all. There's nothing psychopathic about what he did. He felt guilty for these guys' deaths, because if he had intervened and fought alongside them against the Rift Guards, they would have lived. He wouldn't have been able to go into the city, but at least he could have escaped with them and they'd be alive. And the prisoner wouldn't have escaped either. But he didn't. In a moment of very bad judgment, he chose to try and remain neutral, and as a result, the 3 of them died. Now, people have been... so that's kind of why, he lost his temper. He didn't like these guards anyway. The idiots at the back gate had seen to that, threatening him with execution, basically. And so he lost his temper and decided, in a moment of fitful rage or passion or whatever, to try and avenge. If he couldn't bring these poor guys back to life, but he could at least avenge their deaths. So that's what he did. And people are having a go at me now because, oh, you know, the Rift Guards, they're civilians. They're not soldiers. How can you attack them and say they're the enemy in a war? Because they're not soldiers. They're policemen. They're civilians. Here's the problem with that. If you can't go and say that these guys are civilians, innocent civilians that shouldn't be harmed at all whatsoever, when they attack Imperial soldiers on sight. If they were merely policemen and nothing more, they would have let the Imperial soldiers walk on by just the same as they would have with Claudius if he was walking by. But they didn't. They attacked the Imperials on sight, ambushed them, and killed them. The Rift Guards are not policemen solely, guys. They are soldiers. They are the garrison of the city. This is the Middle Ages, effectively. There's no such thing as policemen in this kind of time period. Granted, this is in a fantasy universe, but the same basic logic applies here. These are the Jarl's men. They are his personal guard, his garrison for the town, his or her, as the case happens to be in Riften, garrison of the town. They are the Jarl's troops, just as the Whiterun guards are Jarl Balgruuf's soldiers, and they are soldiers, you know. Let's not beat around the bush here. That's what they are. They are soldiers, and these Rift soldiers, they attack the Imperial soldiers on sight because the Rift soldiers are aligned with the Stormcloaks. This is not very difficult to understand, but apparently people just still didn't get it. So of course, when the Rift guards, when he gets to Iverstead, go to try and arrest him and drag him off to a Stormcloak dungeon, Claudius naturally is going to have nothing of the sort. You know, he's not going to accept that at all. So he draws his sword and he attacks, kills a couple of them, and then makes a break for it towards the mountain pass so he can get away as fast as he possibly can. Because these guys are the enemy. They killed a bunch of legionaries right in front of his face. As far as Claudius is concerned, these guys they're in league with the Stormcloaks. They're practically the same. They are the enemy. They proved themselves to be the enemy when they ambushed and killed the Imperials. So I don't know why that's so difficult to understand for some people. Maybe they just aren't remembering this whole thing properly, but that's the thing here. I could understand some of the complaints if Claudius had just, for no apparent reason, ridden up to a pair of Riften guards and just murdered them for basically no reason whatsoever, but he didn't do that. He saw them attack some Imperial soldiers, and so he decided to get vengeance and avenge their deaths. In attacking those Imperial soldiers, they basically, they lost all sort of neutrality as far as Claudius was concerned. At that point onwards, to Claudius, those guys become the enemy. At that point, they don't have any real defense against Claudius attacking them because they're the enemy and they've proved themselves to be the enemy. So anyway, that's basically all I have to say on the subject. I thought I should explain this in a little more detail since people are continuing to have a go at me about this, when frankly it seems to be quite straightforward as to why Claudius did what he did. But never mind. So anyway, for those of you who have, the vast majority of you, I assume, who probably got this the first time round, well, thanks. And for those of you who have been having a constant go at me about this, I hope now you finally understand why I chose to have Claudius act the way he did, and understand my justifications for why he did what he did, and don't come away from this thinking, as someone did quite literally put, Claudius is a psychopath, psychopathic murderer with a mean streak or something like that. It was quite farcical, frankly, but anyway, there we go. So thanks for watching this little tiny video explaining, which you have to do from time to time. Unfortunately, when it comes to role-playing things, people will inevitably disagree with you on some points, and I have to therefore justify it, because if I don't try and justify it, then that just sort of kind of breaks the roleplay. So anyway, that's all, and I'll see you all again soon with a proper video, basically. So bye for now.